What if your teenage athlete could start building $1 million brand before they even step foot on a college campus? In the high stakes world of sports, where Coach Got Me has become the rallying cry for countless student athletes, a revolutionary shift is happening that's changing everything. Name, image, and likeness deals are no longer just for college superstars. They're becoming the new frontier for high school athletes who understand that they are the business. But here's the catch: while parents dream of their child being the family's ticket out, predatory contracts and financial illiteracy are turning golden opportunities into devastating traps. The question isn't whether NIL is the future, it's whether athletes and their families will be empowered enough to control their own destiny. Today, we're joined by Dr. Jamira Mitchell, better known as Dr. Jam, founder of the NIL Spot and a true pioneer in athlete empowerment. From running behind her sports reporter father at age 4 to earning her doctorate and becoming a career technical education teacher, Dr. Jam has dedicated her life to bridging the gap between athletic talent and business acumen. She's the creator of NIL Draft, a groundbreaking platform that connects student athletes with monetization opportunities while teaching them the critical business skills they need to protect themselves. Through her work, she's challenging the dangerous "coach got me" mentality and replacing it with "I got me," empowering young athletes to understand they are mobile businesses that need proper management. Her mission goes beyond just securing deals. She's building a generation of financially literate athletes who can navigate an industry designed to exploit their talent.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Impactors Out Loud. And today we have with us Dr. Jam or Jamira, and she's going to be telling us about herself and her cocktail. You know how we do it. So, welcome, Dr. Jam, to Impactors Out Loud. Of course, we're going to start with what is your cocktail?
Thank you for having me. So, a little bit about me. I got into the sports industry at an early age, not as a player, but I guess, a student of the game. So at the time, my dad was the local news reporter, sports reporter for our local paper, and he was also a teacher. So of course, we were always on the same time schedule. So I got into it because that's what we did after school. So he would come and pick me up, and we would go and see what was happening at the local high schools just to see what was going on. And I, like at 4 years old, I was running behind my dad as we were running on the football field, on the basketball court, and even sometimes on the baseball diamond. So sports has always been a part of me, and I decided to really get into it after I finished my undergrad degree in music business management. So it was in 2009, actually, when I was coming out and realized, the industry of music is just not there. But I was too far into my career at Dillard University, so I was like, okay, I'll just finish the degree. Thankfully, I did do business, so I decided to work for a little while at a women's shelter. And during that time, it was really impactful. And I was like, I don't think this is for me. So I decided that I would just go and move to New York. And I decided to get back into the sports world, and why not do it in the mecca of sports, New York. So I obtained my master's in sports business management And I had a calling from God to come home, and that means back to Louisiana. And it was the time where He said that you're doing well in New York. You've made the connection, so I need you to come back to Louisiana and have the experience for your hometown and your home state. So I came back and ended up teaching and got into high school teaching at that, and moved into career and technical education. And during that time, it was so much fun because I was able to do the fun classes, the social media, the principles of marketing, the principles of business. And then, of course, I had my students that most of them were student athletes. So I was able to, dabble a little bit with them and teach them about personal branding at the time, because students weren't allowed to monetize from their name, image, and likeness. And I worked and am continuing to work as a career and technical education teacher. And in 2000, of course, in 2021, student athletes were allowed to monetize from their name, image, and likeness. And even on the high school level, there are states that allow their students to monetize from their name, image, and likeness. And then during that time, I was like, okay, this is my aha moment. So I was talking to a friend and I was like, but I'm telling them everything that they need to know about. They needed to get a personal brand. They need to do this. They need to do that. And he was like, okay, well, start a podcast, talk about it. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So started the podcast of NIL Spot. And we have really taken off. I'm really excited about it. And we've actually branched out into NIL Digital, which is our streaming platform. And we also now have NIL Draft, where we support student athletes with the hopes of them obtaining an NIL deal. And we just finished our first cohort. And one of our student athletes did leave land an NIL deal at the end of the program.
Awesome. This is fascinating. Okay, so Monique Smith, I know, is the one who sent you to me,
Yes.
right? And I want to give her kudos because she's been sending me tons and tons of people, women specifically, women in the sports industry. And I'm learning so much, okay? And it's so fascinating for me, especially someone who doesn't really follow sports. I learn so much about the sports industry. And it's like every time I have a guest and I think I've got it, like I've learned all I can about the different facets of, the sports industry. I'm like, wow, oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. So I was just really attentively listening and trying to not listen and come up with my my questions all at the same time. So my last guest was also dealing with NIL, name, likeness, and name, image, and likeness, right? That's NIL. And so the way she dealt with it is very similar to the way you're dealing with it as well. But I want to get more in depth into it because I think this is fascinating for the audience. And I think there's a lot that the audience can learn from NIL for their own business needs as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Especially when you were just talking about, I was like, this is something that regular people can gain in some insight into and probably propel themselves into another lane. So you talked about growing up in Louisiana and running behind your dad, who was also a teacher and a news reporter. I'm guessing he was doing the sports news.
Yes, he was the local sports editor for the paper.
Did you do any sports in school at all?
No.
Really?
I'm really about the numbers. I love the stats of it.
Okay. So what was his thoughts when you told him you were going into this industry?
I don't think he was surprised.
No.
He had seen me, and he and my mom had seen me and becoming a student of the game. Like there are some times where my dad might have just literally stepped out as a coach was calling, and the coach was like, "Hi, may I speak to your dad?" I was like, "Oh, he's not here. Are you calling to give him the stats?" And the coach was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, I'll take them." And like I was just because I've been around him, so I knew the questions to ask. And like my dad would come home, he's like, what, the coach call? I was like,
Mhm.
yeah. He was like, okay. And so he was like, well, I need to call him back. I was like, no, I got the stats. He was like, you did what? I was like, I got the stats. And he looked through it and he was like, oh yeah, this is. So I think sooner or later they figured I would somewhat get into the industries in
Mhm.
some point.
Okay. Um, so you went to college, you did music and
Business management.
business management. So
Yes.
what were you thinking about when you went into the music component? I can understand
Okay.
the business management, but there had to be some kind of underlying love for either wanting to become a musician or getting into the music industry. Which one was it?
It was both. I
Oh,
loved
okay.
music. My parents had me in piano lessons since I was in second grade.
Oh,
And
me
also,
too.
I wanted to get in, I know, right? And I wanted to get into the industry aspect of it. I thought I was going to be a sports and entertainment lawyer. So
Really?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. I had a plan. I was going to law school,
Mhm,
all of that goodness. And then I realized I don't think that's for me. So I was like, I really like the education side of it.
mhm,
The how does the brain form? Essentially, the big thing is, oh, coach got me. And that was like very questioning to me. Like, where did this mindset come from? And so, like, when I was actually my first year
mhm,
teaching, I was like, I got to find out where's this mindset coming from, because coach still has to go home. Coach still has to be here to put food on his or her table
mhm,
and clothes on their children's back. So why are parents and students so caught up in the mindset of, oh, coach got me?
mhm.
Who who are you gonna, where are you taking care of yourself? So that is where the biggest thing came from. That that's really why I went back and obtained a doctorate degree, because I wanted to get into the mindset of where does this come from, only to find out that it's kind of ingrained in them at an early
Hmm.
age, hearing that coach sometime, and most of the time they're men, so they're father figures, and even the women are mother figures towards these students. And so
Mhm,
they're figuring that my mom and my real dad, biological dad, trust you, so
mhm.
why can't I trust you? So with that being said, if anything happens, I know that coach got me. But the thing about it is, when you got yourself, so
So the
that
coach, because I have heard that statement many times, that coach got me. So is the coach got me meaning that I can mess up and he's gonna fix it? Is that what the got me
the
means?
God actually means anything happens.
Mm,
He got me. She got me.
okay.
If grades aren't looking good, coach
Oh,
got
coach is
me.
gonna fix it.
Coach got me.
Coach is gonna talk to the teacher and fix it.
Yes,
Got
when
it.
it's scholarship time,
Mhm,
coach got me. Personally, my when I was because now I teach virtual, so when I was actually in brick and mortar,
mhm,
the coach got me aspect of it is when I was teaching them about personal branding. Ah, no. At the time, I was Miss Mitchell. Ah,
mhm.
no, Miss Mitchell. I don't need to worry about that, because coach said that they got me and they gonna take care of all of that. So I don't even need to know about personal brand. I'm
Really?
like, but coach has to sell himself or herself to get this position. And
So
where
where does that come from? Is it, like you said, just because their parents trust the coach,
Mhm.
they think that the coach has them, or is the coach saying something to them to make them believe that? Is there a codependent? I think that's what I'm asking, because it seems like a codependent relationship.
It really is.
Okay.
It is. And everybody's dropping the ball,
Because that's kind of
but
what
it's never
happens.
in the
Because,
hoop.
like you said, coach has his own family at home that he has to deal with, wife, kids, whatever else is going on,
Yeah.
plus his job. He
Yeah.
can't have a team of 20 people.
Yes.
Somebody else has to have you.
And guess what? If it's a
You
bad
know?
year, coach might be gone.
Right.
So what are you gonna do when there's a new coaching staff? They come with, and this is even in high school, and they come with their own playbook. What are you doing? You can't go with you can't go with the coach. So you have to
Right.
sit here and figure it out. And I think that is where we are missing it. It's not about who has you, it's about having yourself first.
Right.
And that's where the personal branding comes in, because you understand your morals, you understand your values, you understand those alignments that align with what you think and how you think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
So
nothing
take
that
me
no one
through a
can tell
process
you.
of getting that child to realize, yeah, coach is there for you now, but you have to have yourself, and getting them to the point where they're taking responsibility for their name, their image, and their likeness. And how does that play with the parents themselves as well? Because I know the parents are a huge component. Based on my last interview, she was saying, making sure that the relationship between the child and the parent is strong, and that the parent understands the game and the industry, so that if they do get drafted, because I know we're going to talk about your other ventures within your business, that if they do get drafted, they are not easily manipulated by the owners and managers of the whatever team they go to, because the goal is to separate them from their parents, to make them more pliable so that they do whatever they want them to do.
Right.
So yeah, I know
So,
that was
okay.
long-winded, but I'm
No,
sorry.
no, it's no problem, because I was thinking and putting it together. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so from the aspect of being NIL ready, personally, because I am a teacher, I am always teaching them. So when they come through our program, they learn basic jargon. So they understand that ROI is not cousin Roy. It is return on investment. And what does return on investment means?
Mhm.
That means when you're going in and you're offered a deal and the company asks you, okay, we're going to invest this money into you. How are we going to get our investment back? That
Mhm.
is the return on investment. So that, I think that's the basic thing, them understanding the basic jargon. Everyone,
Yeah.
and it happens, everyone wants to be the adult in
Mhm.
control.
Mhm.
But in order to be the adult in control, you have to understand how to be in control. So you can't go and say, well, my athlete is making 10 touchdowns a year, and I think they're worth $100 million.
Mhm.
Where did you assess this value?
You're right.
And then when, and this is a legit question.
Mhm.
When you're asked, where did you assess this value? You're like, well, what does that mean? I just
Mhm.
feel like they're worth it.
Right.
And they get upset,
Mhm.
but the real questions are being asked. So then it's, you bring in an agent, and the agent is trying to do their job, but because everybody thinks that they are a Tasha Mack, they should be in control of everything. And I think that's what it is, the
Mhm.
stereotypes as well, that
Right.
every,
Right.
everybody's mom is not a Tasha Mack.
Right.
Tasha Mack is not Tasha Mack. That
Right.
is a fictional.
Yeah, she's not. Right. Uh-huh.
So I think you have to understand, of course, the basic jargon. You have
Mhm.
to understand how to be in control. And the student athlete has to understand that you are a business.
Mhm.
You may not see yourself as an LLC, you might not see yourself as an S corp, but guess
Mhm.
what? You are a mobile business. And with that being said, you have to make sure you take care of yourself. You have to make sure that you are putting the right vitamins in your body. You have to make sure you're taking in the right food. You have to
Mhm.
make sure all of that is, you have to understand that that is a part of the business. You also have to understand, the student athletes and the athletes themselves have to understand outsourcing.
Mhm.
You want to make sure that you keep everything in the family, but sometimes you can't keep everything in the family. You
If your
have to
family
reach.
doesn't have the expertise. Right. Uh-huh.
Everybody's not Tasha Mack.
Right. Uh-huh.
So, so Mama Mac has to understand that even though you have birthed this phenom,
Mhm.
you have to understand it's okay for me to be a part of these conversations, but I don't have to lead every conversation. And
Mhm.
if I do want to lead every conversation, let me go back and maybe get a credential,
Mhm.
maybe get a certificate,
Mhm.
maybe take a course or two so that I can truly understand what's going on so that I can be that advocate for my child.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that. And I think that's where a lot of it falls apart in the parents just thinking they know what they know from what they've seen on TV and not realizing there's more to the game. And you can be very easily manipulated into signing something that you really did not agree to, making
Mhm.
sure you have all the players in place, right? I didn't mean to make that pun, but making sure you have
Legit.
all of the yeah, making sure you have
It's a
all of the
team.
players in place, right, to create that team that is going to truly protect your child from predatory behavior.
Yes. But
Mhm.
and I think also too, because the mother is, of course, the nurturer,
Mhm.
all coaches, everybody wants to go through mom. Everybody wants to make sure that they're cool with mom because the student athlete and even athlete, they're
Mhm.
going to trust what mom says.
Absolutely.
So,
And
I
it
mean,
doesn't
I'm just
always
saying.
mean that mom is right. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So that I think that's the big thing too. You have to understand that just because they're cool with mom, that doesn't mean that they're cool with me. And
Mhm.
mom has to understand that the child that she gave birth to, it is about him or her getting playing time. It's
Right.
not about oh, I can get you this, and this if
Mhm.
your child comes here. But the ultimate goal of your child is to play. So if
Mhm.
your child isn't in a system where they can play, what's the purpose?
Yeah. One of the things I have is a lot of friends, well, not anymore, because most of the friends are my age and we don't have young kids anymore. But when I was a little younger, a lot of my friends' kids were being drafted by other schools out of state to come and play for their high school team.
Mhm.
So that was a whole thing. I've seen tears, I've seen laughter, I've seen the full gamut trauma that they go through. And a
Mhm.
lot of times, and I'm now reflecting on it as I'm having these conversations. Back then, I was just like, that's weird. I'm not sending my child anywhere to play games. But as I'm reflecting back on it, I realize a lot of, especially the trauma and the tears and all of that, came from lack of knowledge, just listening to the coach, right?
Coach
And not
Kathy.
taking right, not taking the time to do the due diligence
Mhm.
to really figure out if this is the best move for your child and look at the contract that you were signing with said school, which that created a lot of issues for some of these kids in the long run. And I just think now that like again, I said, reflecting on it, and I was a teacher too. So some of my students were some of these people who were being drafted. And I was like, oh, this is very interesting. But no, I would never do that for my son. My son played football at the time. It's like, no, that's not an option. But yeah, I the parent themselves becoming very educated about the industry is important, and like you said, surrounding themselves with a team of people who
Mhm.
they trust, who have expertise in various areas, to make sure that they're protecting their child, because you as a parent sometimes just does not know everything,
But
right?
you know, the other thing also is we have to look at it for what it is. A lot of the student athletes, most of
Mhm.
them are first gen.
Right.
So they're looking at this
The
ball
dollars.
as a come up and a come
Hmm.
out.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking towards them as you're gonna be the way that we get
We get
out
out
of.
of the trenches. Yeah. Yeah. And it puts a
And
lot of pressure on that child too, because
right.
they can't even take time to take care of themselves because they got to think about bringing everybody up on their backs behind them. And
And
yes,
so
you do
imagine
take care of the people behind you, but give this child a
a child.
chance to be a child and then an adult. And then you got to keep working for yourself. But I realize that too. A lot of parents just like, oh, Johnny's got us because they do the same thing too, right?
Got.
Yeah,
Got.
Johnny got us. So
And so
yeah,
think about this from the aspect of NIL
mhm,
and so many now, I think it's like 49 states, maybe
mhm,
40, 45, 46 states are now allowing high schoolers to monetize from their name, image, and likeness. So imagine that, of course, these are all minors. So parents have to sign off on these
yeah,
contracts. Johnny got us. Johnny is getting these NIL deals. They're
mhm,
not realizing that, yeah, Johnny got you right now, but that's not Johnny.
mhm,
These are predatory people,
yep,
and they are realizing that you
mhm,
are banking on Johnny.
yep,
And what happens when the IRS soon to get involved
mhm,
and they question, okay, you've made all this money and now you're going off to college and you have to say, okay, so during my junior year, my senior year, I made this much amount of money. And hopefully it doesn't affect your scholarship package, because sometimes your scholarship package is included with Pell Grants.
right,
It's not just all athletic scholarship
mhm.
money. So those are things you have to think about as well as you're signing off on these big deals. Yes, it looks good today, but what are you going to do when those taxes come out?
Right. And that's one of the things I was talking to my last guest about as well, where she was saying, a lot of them bring in CPAs. So they have their own CPAs, and the CPAs come in and tell them, hey, you can start a nonprofit. And I'm a nonprofit consultant. So
Mhm.
you can come in and start your own nonprofit, and you can write off your Bugatti or whatever. I hope I'm saying that right. Your big cars, right? You can write them off and have the nonprofit absorb it, and then it comes to you as a gift and all kinds of crazy stuff. And as a nonprofit consultant, I can say that is fraud.
Thank you.
Okay, that is fraud. It does not work that way.
Now,
And
if you want to have a skills camp, that's fine. You can use
right.
the nonprofit for that. But
Yeah,
how are you going to put 30 kids in a Bugatti?
right.
You cannot use that as the method of transportation for
No.
the nonprofit.
Yeah. Tell them they can buy their homes, their this, their that, the other, all under the auspice of having a nonprofit. But it does not work that way.
Mm-mm.
So when they leave, and that CPA also leaves with them, then the IRS is knocking on their door, going,
Yeah,
"Hey,
because you're the human behind this nonprofit.
right." And so you get in a lot of trouble. And like I was telling her too at the time, a lot of people think that they have to start nonprofits to help their communities, and you really don't. Right? There are a lot of nonprofits out here you can build partnerships with, you can do fiscal sponsorships with, you can start a social enterprise. You don't even need to start a nonprofit. Everything does not need to be a nonprofit. And I wish we would understand that. There's so many ways you can help people. But yeah, I'm off
I
my
love it. I'm here
soapbox.
for it.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the other programs you have in your business.
So we
That
have the podcast, of course. That was the foundation of NIL Spot.
mhm,
And then we are branching out into NIL Digital. So it is a streaming platform. We're trying to get student athletes to get involved on it so they understand that
mhm,
the nice social media content that you're putting on there will never belong to you. However, if you put it on our platform,
mhm,
you own it. And then
mhm.
you can also monetize from it,
That's it.
and we'll teach
Mhm,
you how to monetize from it.
mhm,
And now we are doing, well, we also have an internship program, and we just did our first cohort. Well, yeah, we have our first cohort of the internship program. I have two amazing interns that are great. They know who they are. I don't want to put their names out, but they are definitely great. And we just completed our first cohort of NIL Draft. So the purpose of NIL Draft is to pretty much write your first NIL Draft offer.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and so we're actually using the word draft as a draft.
Okay.
So
So explain that to me, because
yes,
I
I
don't think I
will.
understand.
So it's a week-long program.
Uh-huh.
And we took student athletes that were interested in the process, and they learned how to write their personal statement. They
Mhm.
learned how to write a pitch.
Mhm.
They learned how to speak for a pitch. They learned how to develop their personal brand. And
Mhm.
then on the last night,
Mhm.
they actually pitched for a brand. So it's
Oh,
literally,
okay. Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
cool.
it's literally NIL draft. So it's
Yeah.
both drafts though. So
Okay, I like
you're
it.
writing your draft for an NIL deal with
Mhm.
the hopes of being drafted at the end.
Nice. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like. I really like that. Anything else that you want to share with us today before we wrap up?
No, just thank you for the opportunity and sharing your platform. And again, special thanks to Monique AJ Smith for keeping us booked and busy. But
For
at the
sure. Thank you so
yeah.
much, Monique. I'm loving these interviews. So yes.
Yes, and for the opportunity, but just want parents, students, coaches, and just everybody to understand that it's not about self gain, but
Mhm.
it's about human gain, and that means that you're here to help humankind, not to help mankind, which is self.
Okay. So I have two questions I always ask at the end of my
Let's wrap
interviews.
it.
And the first one is, what makes you an impactor?
Ooh, uh, yeah.
Mhm.
I think the thing that makes me an impactor is that I'm so much into wanting to educate people, and I think sometimes that's what gets me in trouble. From one educator to another, we forget that
Mhm.
we have to.
Make money?
show- You see, it's even hard for me to say it.
We have to make money because we need
Yeah,
to live? Yes.
yeah. Yes, we have student loans to pay back and all that goodness, but
Mhm.
we just want to like freely just give, and I that is me. I love to freely give, but I think it's the part that impacts and that makes me an impactor is that I love to make my presence known when I leave.
Oh, okay. I like that. And what are three impactor strategies that you would leave with the audience today? Anybody listening?
Sure. So the first thing is to understand the jargon,
Mhm.
understand what people are saying, and do it for yourself, not for others. I
Mhm.
think the second strategy is to continue to educate yourself. Don't feel that because someone has more education than you that you aren't impactful, because your impact may be from life experience and my impact may be only from book experience.
Mhm.
So always continue to educate yourself from every aspect and every angle. And my third one is to stay authentically you, and remember you don't need 10,000 followers to make $10 million.
That is so true. Yeah. All right. Where can our audience find you if they want to get in touch with you? And do you have anything that you want to offer to the audience?
Sure. So you can follow me on Instagram at the NIL Spot Podcast. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Jamira Mitchell, comma, PhD. You can follow us on, we're on TikTok here and there, but we're getting ready to put out a new series. I'm learning
Okay.
tennis, so this is
Oh.
quite interesting. Well, officially, I had been playing. I think the last time was 10 years ago. So, like,
Mhm.
I had my first like real lesson yesterday. So it's gonna
Mm.
be funny. And if you are listening and you want to learn more about the education, you can actually, if you follow me, send me a DM. You can actually get a 20-minute talk and with me, so we can talk about things, answer questions. So yeah, you got me for 20 minutes.
All right. All right, Dr. Jam. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
me here today
you.
on Impactors Out Loud. This was a great conversation. Until next time, everyone. Bye bye.